Hey everybody, we are back with our second episode of Scrubs to Startups. We have an awesome guest on today, Alyssa Ellis. She's the founder of Beyond Assisting. She has an amazing online presence where she created an educational platform for first assisting, for scrub techs, for nurses, for perioperative services. We're going to learn all about her online education business, how she built it, where she's going from here. I hope you guys enjoy. I want to welcome Alyssa Ellis to the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. So I want to just kind of jump right into it. Tell me about Alyssa before Beyond Assisting.
I've been in the OR for like 17 years, but aside from that, my first job was, I think I worked at Payless Shoe Source or something. I've worked at Kitty Candids, but I've got 5 kids at home. I had my oldest when I was 19, and I actually had 2 of my friends tell me they wanted to go to this surgical tech program. Didn't even know what a surgical technologist was, had no idea. I think one of my friends' moms was a surgical tech. So just kind of decided to go and do that with them. And then 2 weeks into the program, both of them dropped out. And so I just was like, I'm someone who, my dad is very much like, when you do something, you stick it through, you finish it. And so I learned that from him. And so here I am.
Isn't that so amazing? Like you have one intervening event in your life and it completely changes the entire trajectory.
The entire trajectory of my life. Like just one little thing that I got grossed out at like ER shows. They would gross me out. I hated watching them. And then all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, let me go to surgical tech school. This sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things in healthcare that you could avoid seeing all of the gory stuff, but you picked the one,
That is like notorious.
subspecialty. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's you're guaranteed.
Literally, you're in ER, it's probably pretty gory in ER
Yeah.
still, but in the OR, literally, you're only around blood and
Could
guts.
have been an
That's all.
MA in a pediatrician's office. You could have worked in a
So
dental
many
office.
different directions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chose
You
this
pick,
one. Well, not really chose it, but
what did you think of school of scrub tech school while you were in it?
I mean, it was school, just like anything else. Until clinicals, it was just a lot of book work, and it's different going to school as an adult versus going when you're in high school, especially when you're paying for it by yourself. So you definitely care a little bit more about your grades and everything. But I mean, school is school, but clinicals, I actually really enjoyed, which I was surprised by because I didn't think I would like it being in the OR. But I loved it.
You were far into the
I
whole
was
school
not
part
giving
when
up.
by the time you get to clinicals.
Yeah, I
You were
wasn't giving
really
up. I
gambling on
will
that.
like this. I don't care.
Did you get a job right away? After
Yeah,
like you
actually.
graduated, you took your certification exam, job right away.
So that's actually a funny story also. So I actually ended up at the clinical site I was at last, and for the longest period of time, they're the ones that offered me a job. But I didn't know that. So I finished, I think, on a Thursday with my clinicals. So I was completely done. And I actually got laid off from Kitty Candids, where I was working in like January or something like that. They closed down. And so I did not have a job. And I'm like, I have to get done with my clinicals. And at that time, which I don't think you can do anymore, you're able to go in on Saturdays. So I busted through and got done with my 540 hours or whatever. I mean, I finished it in like 2 months, 2 or 3 months. I busted through it. I just needed to get it done. I needed a job. So when I finished on that Thursday, I sent in my resume or I printed off all my resumes. And I was going to start in like the south side of town in Utah and just drive to every single hospital and go to their HR and just talk to who I needed to talk to. I was like very determined. This is what I'm going to do. I'm getting a job today. And so I pull up, I think, to the first hospital as far south. I think it was in like Payson, Utah, which is where I graduated from high school. Funny story. And so I pull up and I'm about to walk in. I get a phone call from Utah Valley Regional Medical Center where I did my clinical site at. I didn't apply there or anything yet because I was going to go by there next because Provo was like the next town. And they ended up calling me and just offering me a job. And so I didn't even have to walk in any of those resumes that I had. I ended up getting a job at the clinical site, and that was on Friday. So I finished Thursday and started doing that the day after on Friday, and they called me and I started the next Monday.
Well, let's go.
Yeah,
There's
it
nothing
was,
like a little hustle before you graduate to lock something in. But
yeah,
I think, that paves the way as an early entrepreneur, right? To getting out there and just putting your face in front of the decision makers and asking, right? I think we'll see that theme throughout your career. Just gotta ask and just gotta do, and stuff happens from that friction. So
the
that's
worst
that's
that
great.
happens is they say no and you move on.
That's my
So,
favorite saying. I love that.
yeah.
I live life by that
Yep.
that entire saying. So when you got your first job, what types of cases were you doing? Were you
Um,
rotating cases? What was
Not
that
really.
role like?
You kind of got stuck in your specialties there. So I did a lot of GYN and I think I did a little bit of ENT, not a lot of ortho. They had a heart team, but I did not do hearts either. I was right out of school, so they kind of started me with general and GYN. And so I kind of got pigeonholed in there. When I say pigeonholed, I mean I was there for 2 years. I wasn't there for an extremely long period of time, but I didn't do a lot of ortho, spine, hearts, anything like that. So it was mostly,
Obviously the Alyssa now is very confident in her OR skills, so much so that she built a whole platform on OR skills.
a
What
lot of
was
years.
what was new grad Alyssa like in the
Oh,
operating room?
terrified. Terrified. It's terrifying. Like, especially how they teach you in school. They teach you, like, these surgeons are going to be mean. You got to be careful. Preceptors are going to be rude. Like, they really prepare you for the worst, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing because it was a breath of fresh air for me because I had a really good I had good preceptors where I went and a lot of really good people and good surgeons too. I can't really complain at any of the surgeons that I worked with when I at my clinical sites. They were all really nice. So I just think that it's scary for anybody coming into the OR. It's just a terrifying environment. You know that like what you do could really affect a patient's outcome. So it's terrifying, I think, for anybody. I feel like everyone starts the OR that way.
100%. It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
Whether you're doing anesthesia, you're a resident, you're the circulator, you're the scrub, you're
Yeah.
the neuromonitoring person like I was in the back of the room, 100%.
Yeah.
You're petrified.
You can
Um,
affect the patient's life. So it's
oh,
terrifying.
greatly. Yeah, yeah. Do you have like when you first scrub in, you have a senior scrub person with you or yeah.
Yeah. So you're always going to have, well, I mean, I don't know. I guess every facility is different. And I've been hearing a lot of kind of horror stories for different parts of the country, like having the secretary scrub in. And so that's just crazy to me. I've never heard of that. I've never seen it personally. But yeah, you always have a preceptor, especially when you're in your clinicals, but even through orientation, usually you have someone that's training you that if you have a good one, they're not going to leave you by yourself. And when you're a student, they don't leave you, but they shouldn't leave you by yourself.
As you got more comfortable, what do you think separated you as a scrub tech clinical person from everybody else? Like what differentiated why would people request you? Why did your doctors like love working with you? What's your claim to fame?
Like it's so hard because I don't know how other people work because they do the same thing I do. And so unless they precepted me or were training me or whatever, I don't know how they operate in the room and like what their personalities are. I know what they are outside of the OR. I think that just I don't take things personally and you really can't. And I mean, but you're it's still terrifying. But I'm also not afraid to speak up. If I have a question, I'll ask it. And I think that that is appreciated as well from anybody. It's okay to say that you don't know something because that actually builds a lot of trust with you. And you don't just go in guns blazing and you're just trying to like do everything and tell everyone what to do. It really is like a team sport, and I've played team sports my whole life. I've coached team sports, and so like I know how it is. Going in the OR is really just like a team sport. We're all working together for the same goal. So if your mindset is that way, it makes it a little bit easier. How can I help the surgeon? Because ultimately, it's not a matter of, hey, they're way above me, but honestly, they are. They went to a lot more school than I did. And so I am here to help the surgeon for the patient. That means that I'll still speak up if I see something wrong, but ultimately, I'm going to try to help as much as I possibly can and understand that every surgeon does things differently, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so you have to be very accommodating also, and just really be there to help. I think that's always been what I've tried to do, and others maybe don't approach it the same way as I do.
Yeah, I think that's really a lot of the key in like growing within your career is just being open to opportunity, being there when people need you to be there, and just being a sponge of information. And yeah, I think students in general, it's always hard to like say you don't know something. You don't want to feel like an idiot. You also want to put on a brave face and be like, yeah, I'm confident in this skill set. You don't want a surgeon to ever think that you're not up to the task. You also don't want to put somebody at risk. So I think humility, thick skin, those are obviously epic characteristics of working in any operating room, right? Especially being a scrub tech.
Yes.
Got to be, quick with the dodges.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
When did the education piece start to kind of creep into your life? Like, were you doing, after you became a tenured, scrub tech, were you mentoring other scrub techs as they came into the hospital? Did you start teaching for a scrub tech program? How did the education piece kind of
come into play? Mostly just, all of us should be precepting and teaching. You would think that it would be more experienced techs that do it, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it's a newer tech that's teaching a newer tech, which isn't always bad. I think that there should be some sort of stipulations on who is teaching, because if you have to understand that you're going to get the same result from whoever's teaching. And so you want to make sure you have the right people teaching the new people. But I think that just after people just started getting thrown in my room, and I like teaching. So I'm not the one that ever pushed anyone away. I was always the one that was willing to teach anybody. I didn't always know everything, but I would also say that to my students, well, we're learning together today, because I've never done this before, but I'm going to step up and I'm going to first scrub this because I don't know it. And so I'm not going to put you in that position. But the next one, if it's the same case, I'm going to have you step up, because then I just learned something. I can help you more with the next one. And so teaching just helps you learn more also, because then you're forced to ask more questions. And it's hard because you should admit when you don't know something when you're teaching. But I've always loved teaching. I've coached. I love teaching. I love seeing the progress. I love helping somebody through things. But I feel like it does take a certain type of people that can teach effectively. So I've learned that I guess I do a good job.
Yes, you do a great job. Yeah. So what was the inflection point in, as you're training these new scrub techs, these new circulators in the operating room, what led you to say the resources out there either weren't good enough, not enough? Where was the gap that you saw, and what made you say, I need to create something to supplement that and build my own content library?
I was always teaching as a surgical tech, and then I became a surgical first assist I've been 4 years, a little over 4 years ago, I became a first assist. And since then, I haven't really been able to teach just because of the position I'm in. Sometimes first assists come through that need the training, but for the most part, it's hard to teach a scrub tech when you're assisting. And so I haven't really been able to train a lot, and I really miss it. And so actually, at one of my places of employment, I had asked if I could precept or teach, because I love doing it. And I'm seeing results that are not as good from other people teaching, and I'm more than willing to do it. And I just unfortunately was not put in that type of a position where I can teach. And so I'm like, I'm gonna go teach the world. So one day I just decided, let me make some videos and put myself out there just to try to teach. And you kind of assume that everybody knows what you know, I feel like. when you're in those environments, it's like everyone understands it the same way that I do. And then as I started teaching, I learned that that's definitely not the case. Everyone learns in so many different ways and understand, like, comprehends things in different ways. And I love to learn how other people learn also and what they understand from things, because then it helps me gain my knowledge more. So I can learn the same thing in 4 different ways and know so much more about it. But you have to be willing to, like, take that in too.
For sure. For sure. What was the first video you posted? Do you remember what the first video
I don't
was?
remember. I almost want to look now. It was TikTok. So I actually started TikTok first, and TikTok I have the lowest following. The one that hit first was the one that I say, well, I'm pulling it up.
Launched your career in
When I
social
say,
media?
did anyone ever warn you, when you have a good work ethic and you're really good at your job, that you not only get to do your job, but you get to do everybody else's?
I've seen that
That
video.
one, that one on TikTok has over 9.7 million views. So that one
And how
blew.
many into how many videos into you posting did you land on that one? That,
I don't remember, because this
there's a
one's
lot before that, so you had it like goose
not
eggs before?
not a lot. I probably had a few videos posted, and then I posted that one, and then it just, from there it blew up, and I'm like, oh, okay, but it was really relatable, not only to the OR, but to, like, so many other careers. So
When did your coworkers at the hospital, I imagine you recorded stuff at work.
yeah,
You
I
didn't,
did
you
a
didn't
little bit
have
of,
a full
I don't
OR at home.
anymore. Hey, don't
Yeah,
anymore.
I know. Yeah, did anybody at work make a comment about you recording? Because that
Oh,
was, yeah.
yeah, I got teased. I still get teased. Are you kidding me? I go to work and they're like, "Oh, it's beyond assisting. Oh, we have beyond assisting in our room." I'm like, "Shut up. You guys are annoying."
But it's
It's
great
a
because they're
lot
all
of,
watching your videos. So
oh yeah. I had a surgeon one time that I worked with at other facilities also, and I was doing a case with them, and he's like, "So is this gonna end up on Instagram later?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I know. You better keep in line.
yeah. So you had a positive response from the doctors?
Yeah.
Most?
Yeah. I don't think I've had a negative response from anybody that I've really worked with. I've heard of some people, though, complaining just about the videos that I'm doing, and from maybe that I've worked with before that work at another facility now, just saying she shouldn't be doing that or whatever. I don't know. But you're always going to get negative, and that's fine. I can work with that. I can accept that, because I know that what I'm doing is trying to help people. And so if someone takes that as a negative thing, then they can take it that way.
I think the OR overall is a very private environment
It
in
is.
general. A, because you're dealing with patients and the seriousness of what you're doing, but it's almost like a shroud around what goes on. It's a mystery. You go behind the two doors into the OR suites, and once you go into the operating room, the only people allowed in are, those required for your case. The door doesn't open and close. There's no, it's not like Grey's Anatomy. There's no spectators in the, at least I've never been at a place
No,
that
the ones that are
spectators
watching up, and
looking
yeah,
in. So it's very different than what I think people see on TV, and the
it's
only
very, like,
experience,
private, I
very
guess.
private.
So I feel like the people that get offended that work in the OR feel like I'm violating HIPAA by just talking about things that are happening in the OR, and it's like you come to realize, because that's forced on you, like HIPAA violation.
Yeah,
You
of
got to be
course.
careful, and of
Yeah.
course that is so important. But nothing that I'm saying or doing is violating HIPAA. I'm not talking about a specific patient. I'm not slandering any surgeons online. I'm not doing anything in that way at all. And so I'm just simply talking about what happens in surgery. And that's okay for people to be educated on that.
Yeah, I think
They
for,
should be.
yeah, both for clinicians, whether you're a doctor, you're a nurse, you're a scrub tech, you're a first assist, you're a PA, you're an NP, and patients. I mean, I'm assuming you have patients that watch your videos too.
Oh, I
It's
have plenty that message me, and I'm like, you got to talk to your doctor about that. With that. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
So you posted this video on TikTok. It blows up. What's your reaction when that happens?
I mean, it was just crazy. It was just, it's weird because it's already so hard to post a video of yourself. And at first, like my whispering, which I don't know if you're going to ask a question about but so I've been telling people like when I whispered in my videos, and I still throw some in here and there
Okay.
because I got to keep up with my personality, you know. But when I whispered in the beginning, it's because I genuinely felt so dumb recording myself. I'm like, this is so stupid. I'm sitting here recording myself. So I just call it the sarcastic whisper because I'm being like sarcastic with myself because I'm literally talking to myself on my phone. Like it feels really dumb. And then hitting post is like even harder to do. And so now that I've gained a little confidence, you see that the whispering starts to go away because I'm not so sarcastic about it. And now I'm actually trying to like truly educate. But no, I mean, I think that it's hard to put yourself out there, but it's even crazier to see the response that comes from it. And I feel like I've gotten such a huge response from it. And it just made me want to do it more.
It did. So like the 9 million some odd views, but you were like, all right, there's something to this. I should keep going.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like people are watching, people are relating to like this is like just what's happening in the OR. It's just this is real and raw and like genuinely what's happening. And that's easy to talk about. I'm like, how easy is it for me to talk about my job I've been doing for the past 17 years? That's easy to do. So I just kept going with it and it just kept growing and building from there.
And from TikTok, you started immediately putting stuff on the other platforms, or it took a bit for you to be like,
I think I started TikTok like November of, how many years has it been? It hasn't been that long. It's been like 2 years since I started Instagram. So what, 2.5 years ago, I started like November, was that 2024? Probably. Yeah. In like February or March of the next year, I started Instagram, and Instagram has surpassed anything. It's really blown up. And then Facebook, I started even later on Facebook, and Facebook has blown up just recently to almost where my Instagram is. YouTube, I started maybe last year, like late last year. So YouTube, I'm starting to like try to catch up on. So I think that's all my platforms. How many is that for?
or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think oh, and LinkedIn I started late too.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Do you post the same content on all platforms, or do you tailor the content?
I post the same on all of them.
So now you're working as a first assist, you're posting your educational content. When did the book start?
The books started this November of last year.
Okay.
So I just woke
Tell
up one
them-
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I woke up one day and I was like, are there any kids books about scrub techs? And so I go and research, I look on Google, I look on Amazon, I look everywhere, and I'm like, why are we not educating from elementary grade on about what a surgical tech is? Because I didn't even know what a surgical tech was. So I doubt a lot of these kids know that that's even an option. And I look, can't find it anywhere. So I'm like, well, I'm going to figure out how to write a book. So YouTube helped me. Amazon has this great program, KDP, where you have to format it yourself, which again, I work in the OR, guys, so don't judge me too harshly on my author skills here. But I just ended up YouTubing how to format a book on KDP. I love AI and all of its resources that it helps you with, really learning how to do everything. And if I can figure out how to do something on my own, I'm going to do it. And so I was able to write a book about a scrub tech and changed it a few times, illustrated everything myself, well, with the help of AI, of course, but which I've got a lot of hate from, by the way. I've got more positive feedback than hate, but you know, I can't afford to hire an illustrator. So what's the next best option? If I want to get the word out there, this is what I'm going to do because I can't afford that. Yeah. Yes, I would love someone to do that for free, but well, sorry. But it's been successful. And so from there, it's all about the OR though. So Ellie's OR Adventures, I have 22 children's books just about different jobs in the OR. Ortho, I've been working on the GYN one. I've just been really busy. I have pre-op PACU, housekeeping, first assist, circulator. There's a lot of them.
That's
And
awesome.
22 of those, and then 4 chapter books. And so Ellie's Or Adventures are after my 6-year-old. And I put her face in to try to generate a picture that looked kind of like her. So she's the character in those books. And then the other 4 chapter books I have, probably for ages like 8 through 14 or something like that. Each of those are about my other 4 kids. And same thing, I had it generate a picture kind of looking like my kid. And each of them have different roles in the OR, and they're the OR super squad. And so they come in, they have superpowers in the OR. And I asked my almost 8-year-old son, what do you want your superpower to be? And he's like, I want to have a force field. I was like, perfect. TK and the sterile force field is my first. So he makes sure to put a force field over the sterile back table.
That's a great idea. I mean,
Nothing
he hit it out of the park with that superpower.
It's so cool. So it's been cool because I've been able to, like, I don't know, introduce my kids to these things too. And my kids, I feel like, even didn't really understand what I do in the OR until I started teaching this. Because I can talk to them about it all I want, but what I've seen come from it, like the sales rep book that I did, I've sold that more of that book, I think, than any other book. I got so many sales from that book. Because a bunch of the sales reps are like, I keep trying to describe what I do for work, and nobody really understands. Now I can read this to my kids and they know what we do in the OR. So I love that. I love that I can be a part of helping them. And I see every role in the OR as being important. Whereas I see some people look negatively at reps when they come into the OR because of one has got a bad reputation. And I just don't think that's fair to do to people. I think you just treat people like people and assume that they're going to do the best until they do something wrong. Then you can yell at them. But before that, we're all here to work together, guys.
Yeah, I think that's great. And you've kind of created this whole network of, educating from young to, in the profession. So you've wrote these books, you've built this massive following on multiple social media platforms. When did you kind of take that into okay, you have a monster audience, but having a big audience and writing some children's books doesn't necessarily make you having a business.
No.
When did that mindset say, okay, I have all these followers, I've written these books, they're taking off. I think there's something businessy here that you can monetize and grow. Like, what was the inflection point there?
Well, it actually happened before the books. I have an app as well. So I have a resource app that I created, and that was less than a year after it's been about a year actually since I started my app. I just decided you need to have something that's easy to go to, that you can watch a quick little video on, that's organized. When you go on all these social media platforms, it's kind of hard to organize everything so that if someone has a question about something specifically, just laparoscopic procedures, they can't just click on that, and it's just hard to organize. So my idea was to let me create an app. So I was able to brand my own app through, it's called Movement, and I pay them $100 a month. And I was able to, they have every page kind of already formatted, but then you can go in and add things or whatever. Again, worked in the OR. I am not like this savvy person, but I was able to figure it out somehow.
Figuring it out, that's the
It's subscription based. And so as of today, I think I have 102 subscribers to my app, and there's different, what do you call it? Like chat rooms in there, so you can talk to the surgical techs. I don't think there's any surgeons on there or med students or anything, but I have content on there for pretty much anybody who wants to learn about where you need to put the monitors in the OR and why. Why do you put the monitors here? Oh, because it makes sense, because you don't want your neck back here while you're working this way. Like, you want to make sure that you're facing where you're working. It's just like proper body mechanics. Once you explain something in that way, then people are like, oh, that makes so much sense. Like, something clicks for them. But if it's not explained to you, you're not going to know. So it's just a resource hub that I created, and it has I think there's probably over 200 videos on there, and not all of them are on my social media platforms. I have suturing on cadavers on there that I don't have on my social media. And I really zoom in on the layers so that you can really understand what layers you're closing and how to close them and approximate them better. Not that I'm perfect at it, but just how I learned is how I'm teaching. But that's when my mindset shifted into, I have a lot of followers. How can I like capitalize on this, right? So I ended up creating that app, and from there just promoted it on social media. And I think right away I got probably 20 or 30 subscribers after I had promoted it. And then I've promoted my books and done giveaways and whatnot from there. And so then coming around to just, you kind of see on Instagram, I've been trying to figure out, how do you make money on Instagram? I have the most followers on there. And I've really just come to learn that you have to work with companies. It's not necessarily Instagram that pays you. From my knowledge, if someone else knows, then please educate me. I would love to know. But, they're working with Maybelline, or they're working with all these different companies, Nike. And I'm like, that doesn't really help me because I work in surgery. Like, surgery is so niche. It's such a specific industry, that not a lot of people know about, but there's so much to learn from surgery. And so from there, I kind of just started reaching out to different companies. Well, you reached out to me on Instagram, which was great.
Education is so vitally important in every step of the process, regardless of what type of clinician you are. Mm-hmm. From doctor down to the person that cleans the room. It really doesn't matter. The growing in your field through education, that is the most important thing. And those providers that spend, obviously you're doing this for free for a really long time.
Really long.
And anytime I see an educator out there giving away what you were giving away for free, basically, that's a game changer for students. I remember when I was going through grad school, there wasn't like a ton online then of like resources and what I was going for. And then when I did intraoperative neuromonitoring, there wasn't a ton online.
You just have to go in and get yelled at a whole bunch.
Yeah, and you just read books. Yeah. Like sometimes reading a textbook isn't the best mode to absorb information, especially something so hands-on. As a former med device rep, you spend a couple weeks learning how to like put together your own stuff. It's not always intuitive, and you're thrown into cases where, yes, you get used to some of the instruments that are, used every day, but there's very case-specific information. There's very case-specific, procedures only one company carries. You may not see it every time. You got to figure out stuff on the fly, and you were just giving all that away. I'm like, there's got to be a way to work together somehow, or at least, to co-promote. I think my first offer to you was I had a newsletter. I'm like, I want to put you in the newsletter because it's a great educational space since the company's filled with first assist. It makes sense.
But I was just like, no, I'm just trying to help people. Like, I don't even, I'm just trying to help people. What is this? This is not real life. And then I start to learn like, oh, there is a way to like go from here and make money from this.
Well, yeah, for sure. What was the first, where did you make your first dollar outside of the operating room with this Beyond Assisting venture? Was it the app, or was it like
no, it was social media. So
social media.
Social media. Once you hit, what is TikTok? 10,000? Maybe it's 5,000. I can't remember. It might be 10 that you get into the creator rewards program, and then you can make money. It's not like a whole lot, and unfortunately it's dropped significantly from when I first started TikTok, which sucks because now my follower count is up over 50. It was TikTok making money, Instagram don't make any money. Now Facebook pays better than TikTok.
How do you decide what to give away for free versus what you charge for?
I love giving stuff away for free.
I know.
It's hard. Like going to conferences and stuff, I don't think I'll ever charge anything when I go to conferences. If I bring stuff with me, it's going to be given out for free. If I go to a school to go and talk, I'm going to bring stuff and give it out for free. So, I mean, everything you can buy is online. And so if anyone wants that, I try to promote it. I need to promote more. I probably need to hire somebody to do that for me, honestly. We'll get there eventually. But I don't know. I just feel like I'm genuinely trying to help people. And so any time that I can do that and pass books out or give away a membership, or if someone can't afford it, and they talk to me, I'm going to work with them. So there's a lot of things that I'll do for other people because my intent was not to make money. But now that I realize that I can make money from this, I can help so much more if I'm able to make money from this and not have to work full time. That being said, I don't think that I'm definitely not prepared to quit and not be in the OR anymore because it's like a toxic relationship. You can't get away from it. You're like, once you're in it, it's so hard to get out.
Yeah, that's perfect for what the operating room is like. And and I think that speaks to a lot about, your character and what you're building and what every entrepreneur that has a clinical background goes through when they're starting an outside business is you're trained how to do your job in the operating room. You perfect the job you're doing in the operating room with hours and hours of hands-on experience. When it comes to starting a new business that's not first assisting in the operating room, you're like, man, I've been doing this for 17 years. Like, now it's this whole other entity. How do you make money? How do you do your books? How do you market yourself? How do you write? Who makes your contract for you to do all these sort of deals? Like, you're learning how to be a business person simultaneously to growing your business and working your normal job. It is a lot of work to handle.
I
How does your
never thought I would be in this position. Like I never saw myself as an entrepreneur ever. My dad has owned 5 or 6 businesses growing up. So like my dad has always been a business owner. And I like definitely love that about him, but I'm like I could never do that. Like I don't want to manage people. I don't want to deal with all that. It just seems like too hard. And like how do you even do it without having money, right? So if you don't have money, how do you make money from it? And I think that's something that holds a lot of people back is that when you don't have the money, if you can't put the money forward, if you can't get a loan, if you can't whatever, how are you supposed to start a business? I'm like, I'm never going to be a salesperson. Like, I don't want to be salesy. And my husband keeps telling me like, Alyssa, you're a salesperson. I'm like, no, I'm not. I am not a salesperson. He's like, yeah, you kind of are though. I'm like, okay, shut up. I guess so. But it's not intentional. It's just like, but it's something I genuinely am like passionate about. And I can't just be passionate about anything. I can't go in there and sell you Cutco knives, right? Like I can't be like selling you knives or selling you a chair, or I can't sell that stuff because I'm not passionate about it. I'm like, it's just a freaking chair. Like I don't care. Do you want it or do you not? I don't care. But if I know I'm educating and helping people, I can be passionate about that. And so it's not about me going in to sell something. It's me going in to say, here, there's a resource to help you. And if it helps me give more time to doing that and helping more people, why would I not want to do that? And so that's more my thought process behind it, is that if I'm able to make money from this, I am able to go talk to more people, talk to more schools, go volunteer more. I want to go on a medical mission. There's so many things that I want to do just to give back and help. But if I can make money from this, then I can put so much of that time towards helping other people. And that's really what fills my cup. I've learned throughout this process is doing all of this really fills my cup and makes me just want to do it more and help more people.
I think when you can have a passion behind your side project, that's when it really starts to catch fire, because I think that's infectious. And obviously it is. You have a ton of followers and you are building a big personal brand around, your piece in this whole giant OR puzzle. And I think that speaks volumes for how you grew so fast. Being in such a small niche market, right? You're not talking about, a sport that has billions of views. You're not talking about something super controversial in politics where you're getting very clippable things that other people repost. You're talking about, again, what we talked about before, an operating room, which only a handful of people
Nobody
work
talks.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy. What do you think has been harder than entrepreneurship or working in an operating room?
Well, right now for sure, being an entrepreneur, because like working in the OR is like I could close my eyes and I do it. I'm good. But yeah, doing this is just learning something new. And so but it is, it's cool to see that you really can do anything that you put your mind to. Like you have a passion towards something, you have the heart for it, you can do anything. And I've really learned that you can ask people to sponsor things for you. And it's like, you said yes to that? Why would you say yes to that? Okay, this is cool. People actually say yes to things. I can build more. I can grow more. I can get help from other companies because you realize that they believe in you. Like people believe in me. They have faith in what I'm doing. Like that makes me feel so good. And anybody can do that. And it is like it's a kind of a reality check for me where I'm like, I didn't even know this was something that would ever be possible because I think I'm going to work in the OR forever. I don't really want to be a nurse. I love all my nurses. I just don't want to be a nurse. I don't want to go through nursing school. I don't really want to excel in that on that side. I don't want to progress in that profession. And so, just trying to think of like, what can I do more? What can I do better? And I'm always trying to progress, but just finding the right thing and seeing how far I can go from a surgical first assist, from being a surgical tech, it's like, where do I go from there? Never would have thought this would be an option, but it is. I mean, you really can do anything you put your mind to.
I love that. And when I talk to new providers, new sales reps, it's just grinding sometimes until you get the outcome that you desire, and it's pushing. When a wall comes up, you find a way around it or through it or over it or under it, however you can, and you just keep going and you don't let little things kind of block your path.
And you just don't sleep, it's
Well, you
fine.
need sleep. That's
A little bit.
a little bit of sleep. In your field of working in an operating room and building a huge social media following, what's a common early mistake, people make that you may have made that you could advise people, hey, don't do this particular thing that either cost me money, cost me time, cost me an opportunity.
I think more than anything, it's just do it. Like don't hold yourself back from doing it. I don't know that there's really anything. I'm trying to think of
No
something
early mistake that,
totally
change
screw
the way
that.
you look at something.
I think just I don't get offended. So it's hard because I would maybe say, yeah, maybe I wouldn't post this or that, or I wouldn't have posted this because of the reaction that I got. But I just don't care. So, and it's not that I care about people, but I know my intentions, and so I'm not really worried about what other people think, I guess. Something that you could do wrong is maybe get into an altercation with somebody online. I just personally have not done that. If I say very sarcastic things back because I don't care and I don't get offended. And I've made in the beginning, which a lot of people loved, or my shout out to my hater videos that I used to do. I actually really love them still. Like I see no problem with them because it's just, if people say something dumb, I'm going to say something dumb right back. I don't care. But I think you could make a really big mistake. And I don't know, maybe I gave too much attention to that, right? And maybe I don't need to give so much attention, which I don't really anymore. But I think you could probably get into the keyboard warriors online, and that could really affect how you are viewed by other people, maybe, if you did that. But I'm sure I've made mistakes. I just haven't realized them yet, maybe.
No, it's great. I mean,
I never make them.
sometimes I think the mistakes are part of building that brand.
Learn from
Especially
them.
you're in
Yeah.
but you're also in the spotlight, right? Very unique from, having a store, like running a day spa or working in a doctor's office, or, you're in the spotlight every time you post hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people view your material from all around the world. Anyone that gets an English feed, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna anything you do, bad publicity is good publicity. There's no bad publicity,
No,
right?
because it's still
You
getting
want,
shared and
yeah,
commented and
yeah, you want people to share, you want people to comment. Yeah, of course. So, with that kind of, in that same vein, how has the success changed how you think about your clinical identity? Like you said, you don't want to stop working in an operating room.
not really a whole lot. I feel like I'm still the same person going into it. I just have a lot more going on at home, but I mean, I've always kind of I like redo things and DIY everything. So really it's just changing what I'm doing at home. But clinically, I mean, I feel like I'm still the same. I mean, other people at work maybe would have to say something about that and back me up on that, but I feel like I'm pretty much the same person when I go to work. It's just I get teased a lot more now. But I feel like the respect part of it, at least, like being respected by I think that I got more respect than I had before, but I still think I was respected before that because I am someone who I'm not going to come in and just take over everything. I'm going to build that with any facility that I've worked at. I build it. I'm very quiet in the beginning. My personality doesn't really come through for maybe a year after I've started somewhere. And so I really like to build that respect there. I don't think much has changed aside from me just being really busy all the time and not wanting to take call.
Not wanting to take, we hear that a lot.
Yeah. Which I don't. I just went per diem, so I actually do not have to take call anymore. It's been 17 years, guys. No more call for me. It's a long time coming.
I love it.
Yeah.
What's something nobody talks about building a personal brand?
Just how hard it is. I think that sometimes the perception is that when you're posting online, it's easy. It's, oh, you're just throwing videos out there. Like, it can't be that hard. It's really hard. It's hard to keep up too. It's really hard to keep up with posting. And in this house, I have no space. So I had a whole OR room that was like dedicated, that's packed up now because we're moving. But which the next house, thankfully, I'll have my own space, which will be so much easier. But it's hard. I mean, when you come home, you're also taking that home and around your family. And so you're trying to post, but still balance at home. Because when you're at work, and your kids aren't there, but you come home and you're still trying to balance your brand and like grow your brand while you're trying to spend that time with your family also. So there's a lot that goes into it that people just don't see and understand.
How do you balance all of that?
You don't. Just kidding. You just figure it out. I don't know. It's hard. I've got kids in club volleyball. My oldest is going to college. She leaves. We drop her off July 18th in Seattle. So that's coming up, which I'm super sad about. But there's a lot that goes on. Yeah. I'm going to cry my eyes out. I'm not ready for that. But no, I'm excited for her. But I have kids in sports and there's a lot going on. So me going per diem is not only going to help everybody else because I can spend this time now to focus a little more on content creation and like really maybe traveling more places to speak to different schools. You know, I've been asked to speak at different assembly meetings now, which I'm excited to do. And so I'll have more time to do that, but I'll also have more time to balance with my family. So I'm really excited for this next chapter coming up, but it only came because I worked my butt off for the past 2 years, and it's like working 3 full-time jobs. So
yeah,
now
it's pretty amazing what you've done.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, the grilling has officially ended with the question part. I want to do what I like to call a little lightning round.
Okay.
I ask you a bunch of questions. Whatever pops into your head, you just tell me. So they're fun. All right. Favorite OR specialty?
Ortho and robots. They're both. I don't know. It's hard.
Favorite creator other than yourself?
Other than myself.
You can name more than one if you got more than one.
Well, I love OR Chronicles. Her and I just met at the assembly meeting, and like she's awesome. Soraya, Amy Burton, I absolutely love her. Me and her like besties now. There's a lot of them. I love so many of them.
What's one app you use daily?
TikTok, Facebook, Instagram,
I think you have to for work.
YouTube,
Yeah, for sure.
LinkedIn.
What's the most overrated advice that you've heard?
I get advice from many people. Like the people I ask for advice from are like my dad, just when
What
I'm
does he say?
starting a business. I mean, his is never overrated though. His is
Okay,
always
give me what's his advice?
his is always on point. Well, I'm talking to him about, if I partner with a business partner or whatever, like just to make sure that you establish clear boundaries from the beginning and like what you expect from each other. But that's definitely not overrated.
I
So
love that. Not overrated. I love that. What's one thing every new first assist should stop doing?
acting like they're a surgeon.
I like that. See, that one came very quick.
That was very quick.
What's one thing every experienced first assist should start doing?
Should start doing working as a team.
What's an unpopular opinion about healthcare careers? I think for me, I don't want to answer for you, but this
No,
is a good
please.
discussion topic.
Yeah.
Like what I find most from talking to providers is you're stuck doing what you went to school to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
No.
you're the prime example of that, right? You went to school for scrub tech, then you went for
But
first
there's
assistant.
there's nowhere further that you can go.
Right, you can't do
Like
anything else.
tapped out, you can't do
Or,
anything else. Yeah.
or you follow the same thing. Okay, you were a scrub tech. The next thing you need to be is a nurse,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
right? So I think that's in healthcare. When you're in healthcare, when I worked in healthcare, the
You're
hardest
stuck
thing
in healthcare
was getting out of healthcare. And then
Yeah.
I didn't make it very
That's
far,
great.
right? I became a med device rep, so I didn't go super far outside of it.
You're still
It
in
took,
healthcare right
and I'm
now.
still in healthcare because I love healthcare, and I think
See,
it's
but me,
vital.
I'm still in healthcare too. Just
But outside of the operating room.
yeah, outside the operating room. So yeah, no, I agree with that. Like there's more to it than actually being in the nitty gritty, I guess. There's so
Yeah.
much more that you can do. No, that's a good one.
Yeah, I love
Good
it.
answer.
Thanks. Alyssa, it's been awesome chatting with you. If somebody feels stuck but knows they're capable of more, what should they do this week?
If they're stuck and they know they could do more,
Yeah, what should they do this week?
they need to find resources, ask questions. There's Google and Chat GPT, so many things that can help you, so many people that can help you. You have to admit that you're stuck first. And just humility goes a long way.
Yeah. And if people want to ask you questions and follow you and listen to your education, where do they find you on all your platforms?
Beyond Assisting is pretty much on every platform.
Thank you so much for joining us. I look forward to getting this thing published and getting everyone to listen. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.